This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I caught a vibe and I'm flying right up off of the ground. Feeling so high, no, nothing's gonna stop me now. And I'm just getting started. You better wait and see. Here I go, it's my moment. Keep your eyes on me, eyes on me. Yeah. I'm about to level it up. 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 Can't break my stride. Blue skies coming.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio chart.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the drum hang begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, that is so true. It does not matter who the host is, even on this lovely July the 14th, which is a Monday of 2025, day 195 or 95 or 95th of the year. Yeah, we are broadcasting from, well, should I say there's 170 days left to go? Or do you already know that? Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Yep, radiobig.fm is where we do our other stuff and try to stay out of trouble. There's no doubt there as we are doing our thing. Anyways, how have you been? How are things moving inside of your world? How are the things that move around inside of the multiverse of yours? Always an importante tiempo as we get to hang out and do our thing. So anyways, a little bit of Vanishing Act last week. I was here on Friday, but video-wise inside of the multiverse, it was not known because of a single point error system where apparently I just don't know how to hit a record button or a streaming button. So there you go. So there was a podcast, there was a live radio version, but that was about all that happened on Friday. So anyways, how have you been? Hopefully your weekend was grand. Maybe it was super for some, as we are talking about some of the stuff that's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Anyways, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. It's kind of how we go about and talk a little bit about everything that is going on inside of here. So here's what we do. We talk about safety, we talk about the news, and we kind of give you a combination, a little bit of everything that is going on. That's just kind of the way that it goes. So with that being said, if you want to interact with the show, it's kind of simple to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, it's going to give you some options for video, audio, and text messaging. So video, audio, text messaging. If you want to come across and talk and do all that kind of fun stuff, give me a little prompter over here on the screen, and then I kind of know what the hell's going on inside of the world. Some people always go, well, I can do a lot of that stuff on social media. I don't pay attention to what the hell's going on in social media as I'm doing this in real time. The reason behind it is because I get too confused. So it's like, am I looking at this? Am I looking at that? I'm a very confused individual, so it doesn't take much if I'm looking somewhere else. So just a little FYI action. So with that being said, what else do we have going on? Well, we got this. here's what we're going to do. We're going to move forward. I'm going to give you what the hell's trending. So if you're ready for this, I'm ready for this. Let's do it.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as we talk about the trends of the ends of the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy glimmers of economic hope from June's Treasury data. Also, country singer Connor Smith addresses last month's fatal traffic accident. We'll talk about that in show business. Also, John Goodman shares where he stands for his former TV wife in Casting Call. Also, a back channel opens between Prince Harry and King Charles. So we'll talk about some of that stuff that is going on inside of the world. So I have my friends from Feature Story News waiting to go. So if you're good to go, I'm good to go. And we can get this show on the road and do all the fun stuff we need to do. So let's do that. Let's get into some news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. US President Donald Trump says Washington will send Ukraine very sophisticated military equipment. He says it will include Patriot missile defense systems. President Trump says the US will be paid 100% for the new supplies. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has hailed Beijing's strategically valuable relations with Moscow as he met his Russian counterpart. Russia's top diplomat Sergei Lavrov was visiting Beijing after a trip to North Korea, where he received assurances of support for Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
China's top diplomat Wang Yi told Sergei Lavrov that China and Russia are the most stable, most mature, and most strategically valuable relationship between major powers in the world today. He added that the focus was on deepening strategic cooperation and jointly respond to challenges. The two ministers discussed the Korean Peninsula, the Ukraine crisis, and the Iranian nuclear issue. Russia and China declared a no-limits partnership before Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. China considers Russia its most important ally and partner when countering US strength and wants to work with Moscow to form what they call a multipolar world. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
Buckingham Palace says Donald Trump's accepted an invitation for an unprecedented second state visit to the UK. The US president will be hosted by the King and Queen at Windsor for 2 nights from the 17th of September. Fraser Knight reports from Buckingham Palace.
President Trump struggled to contain his excitement when Keir Starmer invited him on a second state visit back in February.
The answer is yes, and we look forward to being there and honouring the King.
Usually, US presidents on their second term would only meet the monarch for tea or for lunch, but the red carpet will be rolled out again for Donald Trump. The House of Commons will be on recess, though, so there won't be a chance for him to address MPs. Fraser Knight at Buckingham Palace.
India's foreign minister is calling for continued normalisation of ties with China during what is his first visit to the country since the deadly border clash in 2020. Minister S. Jaishankar's in Beijing to participate in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meetings. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Minister of External Affairs S. Jaishankar says his visit will help drive what he calls positive trajectory of India-China ties. Jaishankar is in China for the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting, but it is his bilateral interactions with his Chinese counterpart that are making headlines. Supply of rare earth minerals to India is likely to be on the agenda. A more contentious issue on the card, perhaps, is the succession of the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. China has already raised concerns over India's tacit support for the Buddhist leader, who's seen as a separatist by Beijing.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, evidence that President Donald Trump's state visit to the UK in September is, wherever possible, being somewhat downgraded by the British government. There was tremendous excitement at the White House back in February when Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer issued President Trump with a letter from the King inviting him to make an unprecedented second state visit to the UK. But we now know that it is likely to take place during a parliamentary recess, obviating indicating the possibility that the president might ask to address a joint session of Parliament where things could get rowdy. And George Parker, the political editor of the Financial Times, says there are other indications that the UK is planning to keep President Trump firmly away from crowds of protesters and his many critics in Britain.
It's a diplomatic minefield. It will be a state visit certainly unlike the one we saw this week with Emmanuel Macron, where he had the sort of full pomp and ceremony. I think that they'll be doing all they can to shield Donald Trump from both parliamentarians in the House of Commons, but also members of the public as well. By the way, we expect the state visit to be centred on Windsor Castle. That's convenient because it keeps him out of London and away from big crowds and behind big medieval walls in Windsor.
The official dates for the visit have now been publicly announced. It will take place from September the 17th until September the 19th and will be packed full of royal figures with whom the president is known to enjoy rubbing shoulders.
To recap the top stories, US President Donald Trump says Washington will send Ukraine very sophisticated military equipment. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has hailed Beijing's strategically valuable relations with Moscow as he met his Russian counterpart. Buckingham Palace says Donald Trump's accepted an invitation for a second state visit to the UK, and India's foreign minister is calling for continued normalisation of ties with China. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? Host of our show and founder of Safety FM comes a complete signal transmission trilogy, now available. One listen, safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation, safety mutation.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, definitely sounds like some risky business as we are hanging out and doing our thing. Anyways, apparently my internet did not like me for half a second there. Our streamer Emer was kind of like going, "Hey, hello, look at me." So that's what was going on, in case you were wondering on what the hell the sound effects are. You know, most people tell you don't talk about that stuff, but I find it so interesting that if we don't talk about it, it's like, are you trying to hide something? No hiding anything here. Let's just go into it. Anyway, so let's start talking about some things. The United Treasury has now posted 2 monthly surpluses so far this year. In April, income tax receipts swelled the monthly receipts to $850 billion. In June, tariff revenue boasted a surplus of $27 billion. The U.S. economy is nowhere close to being out of the woods yet. In May alone, the Feds posted $316 billion deficit, and while the receipts are up 7%, for the fiscal year, which runs through September, spending has increased by 6%. This is all according to CNBC. Yes, CNBC is who's reporting that one. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. No doubt there. What else do we got going on? The number of wayward hikers in Washington State backcountry needing rescue to climb significantly this season. So much so that the Sacramania County Sheriff wants to slap them with a $1,000 fine if they need to call authorities for help. Sheriff Summer Shayer says that the search and rescue calls are up around 500% year over year, and these are not sustainable numbers, she says. Shire says that social media trends of showing off impresses vistas to gain likes and follower drives many incidents from those who haven't given emergency preparation any forethought. Unseasonable warm temperatures making for better hiking conditions have also contributed to the issue. In one frustrating instance, the hikers called to claim that he was convulsing, and once authorities arrived, he refused their help. She makes it clear, too, that accidents happen, and this wouldn't apply to someone in great shape, well prepared, who simply had an accident. Accidents happen when we are seeing patterns of poor choices, from flip-flops to rocky terrain to ignoring forecasted heat, she adds. So that becomes that great question of are they poor choices? Do they make poor choices, or are they given poor choices? Think about that. It's a question. Are they making poor choices, or are they given poor choices? Because listen, people are going to make the best choice of what they have normally. So that's something to think about. What do you think? I mean, how would you feel about this? You think you're having an emergency. You call someone. They come and rescue you and go, wow, $1,000 right there. I have the thing to tell you. Our rescue efforts, even though you thought it was a rescue need, is going to cost you $1,000. I mean, it's a rough one when you start thinking about it. It's not a simple task where people are going to be super excited about it, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about this. Authorities in France are on the lookout for a 20-year-old convict who managed to escape from prison by hiding in his cellmate's laundry bag. Well, that's pretty cool. The unnamed escapee apparently hid himself in the satchel as the cellmate was processed out of prison. And at the end of the sentence, a preliminary investigation suggests there are no evidence that the cellmate was in on it. Though one would imagine that a 20-year-old man weighs more than the typical bag of laundry, even a skinny Frenchman. In a statement, one prison official blames the escape on a series of serious malfunctions. A serious series of malfunctions, adding that an extremely rare event that we will never experience in this administration. But I thought you just experienced. So you mean you won't experience it again? Because if you just experienced it, you can't say we will never experience. Yeah. That's kind of how experiences go. I will never do what has been done because it's already been done. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about this mess? It's kind of a mess. Sounds that way, at least. So there you go. Okay, so with that being said, let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Elon World update at XAI, the company formally apologized for its chatbot Grok going nuts last week as it praised Hitler and then threatened at least one user with sexual assault. They blame a command that empowered the bot to be humorous and make more jokes as part of the reason of the fiasco. Not sure about that one. Also at SpaceX, the space company is playing a big role in XAI's next fundraising round. With $2 billion contribution, SpaceX has long been Musk's piggy bank for other ventures. He pulled out $20 million to finance Tesla in the early days. SpaceX also put on $1 billion in cash to help finance Musk's acquisition of Twitter through he promptly repaid it. Also at Neuralink, the fifth patient has received a Neuralink chip implant, which allows him to control a computer interface with his mind. The test case, identified only as RJ, lost the ability to use his arms and legs after a motorcycle accident. The procedure was completed in April. RJ is now, he can control his computer and smartphone through his thoughts, which is kind of crazy when you start thinking about the whole thing. No doubt there. RJ with a brain implant. I mean, it's interesting. Just imagine that where this technology will be in time. Can you become one with a computadora? Can you become one con la computadora, con la supercomputadora? You know, you get it. You get the thing there as we are talking. Also, a 54-pound chunk of Mars is hitting the auction block. Take a listen to this. The rock, believed to be the biggest piece of red planet on Earth, was discovered by a meteorite hunter in, let's see, is it in Nigeria? In November of 2023. Millions of years ago, a massive asteroid is believed to have impacted Mars, sending the rock into space and eventually landing on Earth. It is expected to fetch about $2 million and $4 million, according to Sotheby's. This is also according to AP, so just so you know. What else do we have? Okay, actress Vanessa Hutchinson is expecting baby numero dos with her husband, baseball player Cole Tucker. She's 36 and he's 29. The couple welcomed their first child in July of 2024. What else do we got right here? Sick Bay. Richard Dreyfuss canceled a panel experience at Sharcon in Florida over the weekend while battling a bout of viral bronchitis. In an Instagram video, the Jaws actor apologized to fans but said that the doctors order him not to fly. I think he was saying also as far that it was going to take about a 5-hour flight to get there. He looked in rough condition, but hopefully he'll be able to get out of it. So there you go. Also, reality star Brody Jenner tied the knot with surfer Tia Blanco over the weekend. He's 41 and she's 28. The nuptials took place at Brody's mom's home in Malibu and Brody's dad. Caitlyn Jenner was in attendance. Don't they already share a child together? I believe they do. I think that they had a kid together last year, but don't hold me 100% to that one because, don't want to get anybody confused. So let's talk about the box office, but I don't think you're going to be too super amazed about what I'm going to say, because I think you're already going to know the answer. So let's go through it. At number 10 over the box office over the weekend went like this. The Materialist with $720,000. Megan 2.0 was at number 9 with $1.3 million. And number 8 was Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, $1.4 million. Also, Lilo and Stitch, $2.7 million, came in at number 7. 6 was 28 years later with $2.72 million. At number 5 was Elio with $3.9 million. And number 4 was How to Train Your Dragon, $7.8 million. And number 3 was F1 the Movie, $13 million. And number 2 was Jurassic World Rebirth, $40 million. And what do you think the number 1 spot was? Waiting. Yeah, you already know it. I don't even think I needed to say a story about this, but $122 million was Superman. Now listen, I'm going to tell you all kinds of mixed reviews here. I have seen that it is great. I have seen that it is terrible. I have seen that it's somewhere in between. I've seen that it's ranked as high, right around the same level as the Christopher Reeve movies. I've seen people say that it's terrible. I don't know. If you really want to go back and see some stuff, go back to 2018. Because James Gunn had already done a Superman movie, and people are going to be like, what? Yeah. If you look it up, it is a versionality of kind of like a Superman movie, but it's a horror movie. And it was pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie ever made, but it was an interesting concept movie. But I don't know. Have you seen it? Did you see the new Superman movie? What did you think if you did see it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you go, whatever? I have read, and I can only tell you what I've read, that it's supposedly relatively true to the comic book. But when you start rebooting all these brands over and over again, you're probably going to run into questions. What is this, the 4th version movie-wise of Superman? So I don't know. Whatever. I mean, congratulations to them, $122 million. And I mean, the range of what they paid to get this movie made is all over the place. I remember at one point it was being said that it had to make $1 billion to even cut even. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, so let's get into some other stuff real quick. Let's get a little swampy-ompy. Can I say that? Can we get
a little swampy-ompy?
Okay, so coming from the swamp, take a listen to this. Some palace intrigue has been taken over by the White House, stemming from the frustration over the Epstein files. Last week, the Department of Justice formally closed the investigation, disappointing many who expected a list of Epstein clients. The official word from the administration is that such a document does not exist. Axios reports that a deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino, a lifetime law enforcement professional who left the prominent podcast for the job, reportedly threatened to resign if Attorney General Pam Bondi did not step down. Okay, adding to the fuel to the fire that FBI Director Kash Patel reportedly threatened to quit if Bongino left. Sorry, said that wrong. In the Lincoln True Social statement, President Trump made it clear that he wants the country to move on. But even his most loyal followers in the reply section weren't having it, and prominent Trump aligned commentators have continued their criticism. Earlier this year, the DOJ released what it called Phase 1 of the Epstein files and promised more to follow. Bondi said that she was reviewing an extensive evidence, and now they were saying that there is nothing more to release. Worth asking, just how bad was the information the FBI collected when raiding Jeffrey Epstein's home, and who does it implicate? Maybe that's the question. The other hand, Democrats in Congress plan to bring legislation to the floor this week that would compel the release of the Epstein files. So maybe it's Trump doing his thing. So who knows? It's all over the place. I mean, this has been going on for way too long. Is there such files? And if there is, why have they not been released? And it's kind of weird, some of the last thing that Musk was saying about those files. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? No, like seriously, who knows?
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about the Dow. Lost about 279 points to close at 44,371 on Friday. The S&P lost, about 20 points to close at 6,259. And the NASDAQ lost about 45 points to close at 20,585. West Texas Intermediate closed at $68 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $70 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.15 on Sunday. Bitcoin hit an all-time high over the weekend, trading just around 119,000 at one point before settling down back to 118,000 on Sunday afternoon. Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $90 million jackpot or a $39.9 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $248 million jackpot or a $112.4 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Anyways, it is currently 32 minutes past the top of the hour, and I think, therefore I am. Okay, no, that's not what I meant to say. I think it's time to do our main story, so let's do that.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So let's talk about it. Let's go through the plethora of information that one can discuss at all times, depending on what the hell you have going on. But let's think about this for a moment. And when I say all of this, I say this for the sure standpoint of understanding of how crazy sometimes our life is, how weird some of the stuff is that you have to go through to get to where you want to get to. So I want to talk about this, and I want to discuss this information because I think it's always sometimes so weird, the level of exclusivity that some of the stuff that we have to go through to get some of the things that we're interested in. So you are aware there are some safety programs out there that you can learn. And there's some safety programs that are out there that you have to go through certain accreditations or maybe even go through certain people to be able to get it. But it's not the easiest thing to do. And you probably go, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about sometimes getting a hold of some of these people that I'm not going to say they have the magic bullet or the secret formula, but they have information that you're interested in, and they are normally referred to the source as subject matter experts. So you reach out or you try to reach out, but it becomes so difficult to find the way to get to them or get information that it's almost like virtually impossible to get anything. So I'm going to give you an example. I do martial arts, time in, time out. Throughout the years, this is just something that I enjoy doing. Recently, I have went to a school or went by a school that was saying, "Hey, we're open to the public." Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. So I go by the school on the hours that their website says that they're available. Once I get there, the sign on the door is different than the website information on when they're open. Cool. Not a problem. Not a big deal. But I get the website, I get the contact information, I send an email. I send the email and I say, hey, listen, I'm interested in your school. I'm interested in this. I'm interested in that. I'd like to have this information. The reply that I get is, come back by, ask for this person, and that's it. Not answering any of the information, not what their hours of operations were, being as the one on the website and the one in person is entirely different. It's come back by and talk to this person. I was like, okay, whatever. So one day I'm going around, I'm about to go to the gym, and I was like, okay, let's stop by just to see if there's anybody at this place. So I get there. I ask for the person that I was told to ask for, and the person comes out and starts giving me these weird looks. The weird look of, why are you here? I explained to them who I am in regards of name and the email and all that kind of fun stuff. And then they kind of, oh, okay. And then it becomes the whole conversation of asking the exact same information that I asked via email, but they did not reply to. And they become coy. And they become one of those things where they don't want to give you a ton of information. It was, try this, tell us what you think about it, and then we're able to give you a price point. We're able to give you the schedule. So it was almost like a private club. It was almost like a private school. We'll call it a boutique school. And it kind of made me think about some of this stuff. I remember when I first started trying to get into some of the things that I get to do around here, on how exclusive getting a hold some of these people were. And how exclusive it was in regards of trying to get information. It was almost like if you are a person that enjoys going to bars when you're trying to get to a speakeasy. You have to know all the secret stuff, all the codes, where the door is, where the hidden thing is. And listen, I don't know if I enjoy that level of exclusivity. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, and keep in mind that some speakeasies, it's kind of easy to find out general information on how to get there. But when you become too exclusive, it's a major pain in the ass, okay? So here's the thing that I look at. Because of this has led me to look at somewhere else where everything's a little bit more uniformed. I'm not saying it's a bad school that I started looking at. And I'm not saying the first school or the boutique school was a bad school, but it will lead me to something that's a little bit easier to access. And that's what happens a lot of times with some of our safety programs. If you're trying to obtain information that becomes extremely difficult to get a hold of, what do you think you're going to default to? You're going to default to things that are easily accessible. Because there should never be a level of exclusivity of anything that is going on. And yes, I understand people want to pretend or behave like their thing is the best thing. And that's the issue we run into. It's sometimes not being willing to share or pretend that there is this level of exclusivity when it comes to stuff, that it becomes extremely difficult for others to want to be involved with. The other point is sometimes the price point. Don't price yourself out so far out of the market that it makes absolutely no sense that people can't get a hold of you. I just don't understand that. It's a very strange world. I don't know. What do you think about the whole thing? Sometimes it's just a hot mess when you really think about it.
Radio.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Embrace a daily boost of nature with Field of Greens. Discover the simple power of one scoop to elevate your well-being. Enjoy the flavor that appeals to you the most and let the blend of organic fruits and vegetables enhance your life. Experience the following benefits with Fields of Greens. Noticeable energy increase to power you throughout the day. Improved quality of sleep. Enhanced digestive comfort and a general uplift in your wellness. Field of Green stands out with the selection of organically grown ingredients, each carefully picked for its benefits to your heart and overall health. We are confident that you'll appreciate the benefits of Field of Greens. If it doesn't meet your expectations, we offer a straightforward money-back guarantee. Jumpstart your health journey with a special offer, 15% off your first purchase plus complimentary expedited shipping. Just visit fieldofgreens.com and use the code SAFETYFM to redeem your discount. That's SAFETYFM at fieldofgreens.com. Experience nature's touch at fieldofgreens.com/SAFETYFM. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories
When safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected.
Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
And I'm just getting started. You better wait and see. Here I go.
Uh-oh, she's just getting started here on the Rated R Safety Show. 45 minutes into the hour. We are still hanging and banging, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do as we are hanging out on Safety FM. We are hanging out on Radio Big.FM and doing everything inside of the multiverse. So there you go. Yeah, she's about to level it up. NZ. Yeah, NZ. Songs ready and available on Pandora, Spotify, YouTube Music, and Apple Music. So there you go. You got some 4 options there. Give it a little streamer-eamer action. Thank you to Lenzer for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. So let's continue talking about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. No doubt about that, as we are doing all the fun stuff around here. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and that things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Always some great information coming off of their website. Just to say a bit. Anyways, what else is going on inside of the world of the multiverse? It goes something like this. Should I tell you this one, or should I keep it to myself? If you dread working out, you're not alone, and the answer might not be to try harder, but to try smarter. A new study published by the Journal of Frontiers in Psychology suggests that matching your workout to your personality could make all the difference. Extroverts tend to thrive on high-energy group classes or team sports, while more introverted or anxious types prefer solo, low-pressure activities with built-in breaks. People who are more conscientious often stick to a well-rounded routines simply because they know how it's good for them. The bottom line is that the key of enjoying exercise may be finding a style that suits you, not squeezing yourself into someone else's fitness mold. And this is just a group of introverts have invented a workout called Nappercise. I'm just saying, Nappercise might be a thing. Also, in some other information, new research shows that connection between exercise and mental health isn't as simple as we thought. Yes, hitting the gym or playing sports in your free time is often linked with less anxiety and depression. But doing chores and physical labor for work doesn't seem to offer the same benefits. And in some cases, it might even make things worse. The new study published by Medicine and Science and Sports and Exercise concluded that while exercise can be good for your mental health, it also is not a cure-all. And other exercise factors related to, or other factors related to exercise, such as group settings and supportive programs, play a huge role, whether exercise helps. I know they say exercise is good for my mental health, but absolutely no benefit for conforming myself into a weird position in front of strangers while wearing too tight shorts. I mean, I'm just saying some stuff to think about. Yeah, I mean, I guess it can get kind of weird when you start thinking about it. What do you think about the whole exercise thing? Is it good for you, bad for you? And what do you consider exercising? Maybe that's the other thing. I don't know. I think that sometimes playing a factor into doing multiple different things can be a huge key in regards of what you have going on. But then again, that is just my consideration. What the hell do I know? I'm just a guy behind a microphone. But you know a guy that knows a lot of things? I know a guy that knows a lot of things. His name's John Smalls. We like to bring him in. He likes to talk about the Motivation Minute. And as he does that, it kind of gets me excited about life because, hey, he knows what the hell's going on. So let's bring some John Smalls in right now with the Motivation Minute. Let's just do that.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Mandy. James Baldwin said, "Those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by others doing it." I love that. I've shared some of my stories here before, but it's suffice to say I love to do the impossible. When I'm told, "Hey John, that'll never work," it fuels me to find a way. I don't know why that is. It's always been my nature. I found new ways to use some technology that allowed me to broadcast my radio show from a remote location. I was doing that way back in the 1990s. Of course, everybody told me it was not possible, but then I just did it anyway. And I can still remember how great that felt to amaze and impress my boss. Man, that was cool.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Truth-telling is seldom easy, but it is a key that unlocks the door to spiritual victory. As long as we deny our struggles and pretend to be something we are not, we will never be free. The person who is trapped in secret sin lives a double life. He appears to be a godly man, a faithful husband and father, but in secret, he is something else entirely. Now it is not just his sin that traps him, but his reputation as well. By pretending to have it all together, he cuts himself off from the help he so desperately needs. Lord Jesus, deliver me from my spiritual reputation so I can experience the freedom that comes through honest confession. In your holy name I pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
News on the Rated R Safety Show.
A major breakthrough unfolded in Europe as Britain and France reached agreement on a new plan to return migrants crossing the English Channel in small boats back to France.
The pact introduces tighter controls and joint patrols aimed at reducing the surge of crossings. European Union officials welcomed the deal, noting it streamlines asylum processing and reduces tensions at British ports. However, human rights groups raised concerns over the rights of migrants to seek refuge. Benjamin Wright reporting.
The conflict between Russia and Ukraine intensified yesterday with renewed Russian airstrikes on Kyiv involving missiles and drones that killed at least 2 people and injured over a dozen.
Ukrainian authorities condemned the attack as a terror escalation targeting civilians and urban infrastructure. Western governments have denounced the assault and restated their commitment to supporting Ukraine. Diplomatic efforts continue, but prospects for a ceasefire remain uncertain as Kyiv braces for potential follow-up strikes. Chris Anderson reporting.
Catastrophic flooding in Texas's Hill Country continues to claim lives, with state officials reporting at least 120 fatalities, including 96 in Kerr County.
Search teams are still working to locate more than 160 missing individuals, and numerous homes and bridges remain submerged. The White House approved a federal disaster declaration, deploying FEMA resources to assist in rescue and recovery efforts. Over 2,000 responders from 10 states are helping local search teams in setting up temporary shelters. Lawrence Keller reporting.
In Washington, President Trump announced a 50% tariff on copper imports from Brazil, effective August 1st. 1st as part of a broader trade action that also targets 7 other nations.
The move was described as retaliation against what the administration called unfair trade practices. Brazilian officials criticized the measure as punitive and politically motivated, signaling possible escalation in trade tensions. Officials in the Philippines and Libya face new 20% and 30% tariffs, respectively, if no trade deal is reached by month's end. Kyle Norris reporting.
The U.S. Supreme Court declined to allow Florida to enforce its new law criminalizing undocumented entry and residence.
The High Court left in place a lower court injunction, affirming that immigration enforcement remains a federal responsibility. Civil liberties advocates praised the decision as upholding constitutional protections and due process. The ruling may influence other states considering similar legislation. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Arizona immigration advocates are raising alarm over a detained Phoenix area musician suffering from cancer who has been held in ICE custody since February.
The woman, a lawful permanent resident, has reportedly lost 55 pounds and is receiving inadequate medical care, prompting calls for her compassionate release. Advocates say that under immigration law, U.S. residents with serious medical needs should qualify for release or bond. Officials at the detention facility have not commented on her specific case. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Prepare yourself.
We are now being distributed on iHeartRadio. Listen on iHeartRadio app. Radio Big.
Okay, let's go.
Yep, there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hours. You and I are hanging out. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2021, the CDC reports drug overdose death rose by 30% in the U.S. to a record 93,000 in 2020. Experts said that the lockdown and other pandemic restrictions isolated those with addictions and made treatment harder to access. The organization also noted that overdoses increase in all but 2 states, New Hampshire and South Dakota. So there you go. Also in some other news, let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Co Wetzel, 33 years old. Conor McGregor turns 37. Sarah Carring turns 38, and so does Dan Reynolds. Dan Smith turns 39. Phoebe Bridges turns 40 today. Scott Porter, 46. Roger Clark, 47. Lonnie Love, 54. So does Bubba Ray Dudley. Patrick J. Kennedy turns 58. Matthew Fox turns 59. And Jane Lynch turns 65. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, it goes something like this. National Mac and Cheese Day, Pandemonium Day, and International Town Criers Day. What exactly does that even mean? Town criers? Is they like sit around and cry? I mean, I don't know. Okay, so before I forget, let's talk about this. Conklin Conference coming up the September the 9th through the 11th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Would love you to see you there as we talk about the world of human and organizational performance. You'll see people such as Todd Conklin, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jen T. Long, Andrea Baker, and Mark Yustin. I will be there in a hosting capacity and would love to see you there. For more information, go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live event. Take a listen to this. If you need a rando for today, there's no motivation to clean quite like the phrase, under no circumstances can we let these people see how we actually live. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's your favorite current TV show? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 24% of people say that they would buy this if the price was right. A haunted house. Damn it. A haunted house. So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm exclusively for the next couple hours or so if you want to come and hang out over there. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. You can stay here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. The things you want on the other side of everything you're avoiding today. So there you go. There you go. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
You wanna get on my level? You wanna get on my level? You wanna get on my level? 'Cause I'm about to level it up. You wanna get